Kill the casuals.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to 3VO, where we're all on the same team. I'm your host for today, Jordan.
And I'm your other host, Brendan.
And if you're new here, we are just two big old nerds that absolutely just love video games so much that we decided to make a podcast so we can just yell about it all the time. So if you have that same fondness and love for video games, this is definitely the place for you. It's been a little bit since we've been here, so let's do a quick check-in. Brendan, how have you been, man?
I've been good. In our defense, we've always been yelling about video games, even before we had the podcast.
It's true. I've always been very, very loud about video games.
We didn't need the podcast to be yelling about video games.
Well, true, but we were so loud that we were just like, let's save our friends from this and just put it out to everybody else in the universe.
Right.
To hear us talk about it.
I've been good. I have been so busy, which is partially why we've taken a little break, a little hiatus.
But it's been a very good busy.
Absolutely, yeah. I was in a couple of shows, a couple of productions over the summer. Mm-hmm. We did West Side Story, and then I overlapped with a production of SpongeBob that was very, very fun. But I'm also very glad to be done with that.
Yeah. There is always that, like, and it's been a while since I've gotten to do a show, but there's always that thing of just like having those like months of rehearsal and then doing it, and it's all wonderful and exciting, but then once you're done, you are just like, oh, free time.
Yeah.
I forgot what that was like.
Right. And it was an intense schedule. When I auditioned for West Side Story, I didn't realize that the run was going to be 4 weekends.
Ooh, yeah.
So I got the schedule on day one and I was like, oh, this is what we're doing. It's like 2 months of rehearsal and then a month of performances.
Oh, yeah,
and I had also auditioned for SpongeBob and gotten cast. And I was like, I have a 1 week break in between these things. It was literally, I was like in rehearsals for both, opened West Side Story, had 4 weekends of West Side Story, had 1 weekend break, and then was in tech for SpongeBob.
Yeesh.
Yeah, it was a lot.
So immediately just back to back, show to show to show.
Yeah, and then I was in a coma for a while. I'm actually still in a coma now.
Brendan's not here at the moment. He's still readjusting.
What have you been up to?
Oh, man. So first off, since it's been a bit,
do we have a soapbox moment?
We've got a little bit of a.
Hey, here we go.
The dust off this.
I have a feeling like I know what this is going to be about.
You probably do. If you've been paying attention at all to what's been happening, you probably do. Just the first thing to get out of the way real quick. Hey guys, console wars are still stupid. Stop yelling at people because they play in a different system. And just because somebody works for a company that's exclusively for one system, just because they play something in a different system, they don't deserve to get fired. So quit yelling at people online for that, number one. Also, Unity. The fuck are you doing?
Literally.
This is the most insanely stupid fucking thing. It's not just grotesque business tactics. It's also incredibly fucking... Business majors are stupid. I will die on this fucking hill. And I don't care who I offend with that. If you get an MBA because you suck at everything else in life and nobody wants to hang out with you, I'm dying on this hill.
All of the business majors have unsubscribed.
Oh no! I'm so upset.
Our producer's making faces at us right now. Maybe you should walk back some of that.
I won't though.
Well, this has been great. This is the final episode of the podcast. Thanks for listening this long.
Not all business majors.
Hashtag not all business majors.
Oh God, I don't want to be involved in that hashtag.
Tell the people what's going on with Unity for those that don't.
So basically, and if I am messing up details or screwing things up, please go look this up on your own, as I always recommend with anything we talk about on here. Mm-hmm. But there is a game engine company called Unity, who, if you kind of don't know, just to break down the basic mechanics, it is a game engine is kind of what it sounds like. It is the engine that you use in order to make a game happen. And there's a lot of games out there that use Unity, particularly a lot of indie game developers use Unity a lot. Most famously,
even like the AAA titles.
The AAA titles too, but like
everybody's using Unity
for sure. But like most famously, recently, like a big one that did really, really well that was an indie developed game was Cult of the Lamb. Was a title that used Unity.
Yep.
And it's gotten a lot of praise for high functionality, fairly user friendly, and just like a company that is willing to work with like indie devs and stuff like that. They recently did. It hasn't rolled out yet, but they're rolling out a new business plan that essentially says, past a certain number of downloads of a game, not just times it's been bought, downloads of a title, you then owe 20 cents per download to Unity, and then that will include the back pay essentially for all the downloads that came before you hit that threshold marker for it, which I think is like 200,000 downloads or something like that, which
is not a lot.
It's really not. Like, it
It's really
sounds like
not
a
a
lot,
lot.
but in terms of like
No.
any kind of title getting downloaded, that's really not a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you talk about titles that like go to Game Pass or they get put into a Humble Bundle or something like that.
Yeah.
And they try to walk it back with that by saying like, oh, but if you're on a Game Pass or something like that, you won't have to foot the dev won't foot the bill. It'll be the company that distributed the game. So Microsoft or someone big like that. Yeah, because that's really going to incentivize these companies to put out fucking indie titles.
Right.
They're going to be like, I'm sorry, after a while we're going to have to pay, we're going to have to back pay for this shit. You're screwing over your own market.
Yeah. I have a very strong feeling that this is going to get walked back.
God, I hope so. But here's the other thing for me is that like, it's not even just like, I made my comment earlier. It's not even just like, it's a dumb business decision because I found out today, I don't remember who it was, but one of the higher ups at Unity before this news dropped sold off like a bunch of shares of stock in Unity before this shit dropped up. So this was tactical.
Yeah.
This was very, very planned out. They knew what a shitty thing it was that they were doing.
Here's the thing. The idea of it is so preposterous to me that I can't imagine that it's like going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like the higher ups at Unity know that. So I'm kind of wondering like, so what are they really trying to get away with?
Yeah.
What's the second announcement? Oh, we're not going to do this terrible bad thing.
Right.
We're not going to do that, but we're going to do this. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's either that or what I kind of thought when we covered the shit about with Wizards of the Coast and D&D Beyond.
I was going to say it's a lot like
with their
that.
licensing thing was that because my theory on that was that they were like, well, we're going to say we're going to do it. And then we're going to see what the reaction is like, and then we can walk it back later.
Right.
Like, if they let us get away with it, we'll do it.
Right. And then we get to say, oh, well, we listened to
you guys.
We listened to you. Oh,
see,
look
aren't
at
we
how
the good guys here?
Exactly. There are way too many games that use the Unity engine that would be affected by this. Games you wouldn't even think use the Unity engine. Really. I mean, well, I'm no like game developer, so what do I know? But, you know, when I think of the Unity engine, I think of like the really pretty 3D, like fully realized games. Yeah. Kind of like what's like a major one that uses the Unity engine?
Oh god, the only one I can think of right now is Cult of the Lamb, but that's not the example you're looking for. And I apologize.
No. But like the big, like fully realized 3D games tend to use the Unity engine. But then also games like Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
That's got a couple million downloads probably, you know. Ori and the Blind Forest too. Tunic, which we played on stream.
Yes.
Cult of the Lamb, you know, so there's a lot of games that would be affected by this. I think it's absolutely preposterous.
And the devs for Cult of the Lamb straight up said they're just kind of like, before this goes into effect, we're taking the game off market.
Yeah. Yeah,
they tweet about it. They're just like, well, play it while you can, guys, because we're getting rid of it because we are not going to pay for this bullshit.
No.
And I'm like, I do not blame any of the devs who want to go through and do that, honestly. Like, it's unfortunate and it's upsetting, but it's like, yeah, because like part of the thing is like using this system is because they are a smaller dev team, but this system allows for them to do a lot of cool stuff within a smaller budget and within a smaller team. And so by doing something like this, you are just you're cutting off such a big base of your own market. Because it's just like, yeah, no one's going to put up with that. They'll find a different engine to use. Because you're not the only engine on the market.
No.
Because this is just going to leave way for another big thing to come. Another one that's like, is a similar system that will allow them to do.
I know if I was any other game engine company, I'd be rubbing my grubby little mitts like,
just
time to
like, hey guys.
A lot of negative space in the market just opened up. Yeah. Well, that's Unity. Anything else for your soapbox moment, or
soapbox moment? No, for that was the biggest thing I wanted to talk about.
What have you been up to in your real life?
Well, most recently I went to go trim my beard, and the guard fell off my beard trimmer. So now we have this.
Don't scare.
Yeah, it's as my wife put it, it's a lot of face.
What a read.
Oh yeah. You know, there are no pulled punches in my marriage at all.
If you're listening to the audio only version of this podcast,
I no longer have a beard and had it trimmed off. It's slowly weird. Technically, I could say I'm actually working on growing it back as we speak.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've already got a little bit past 5 o'clock shadow.
I grow facial hair very slowly. It'll be a while before it comes back.
Not too bad. It's okay now.
This is like 3 days.
When it was fresh, it was
Yeah, I know.
jump scare.
It's also, I'm so pale now that like I feel like that exacerbates it a lot.
A little bit.
A little bit. Other than that, though, in very, very good gaming news for me, recently purchased a PS5.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm not trying to brag. I'm just excited about it.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck you.
I mean, I was gonna say if you want to borrow it at some point, you can, but apparently
I wouldn't trust myself.
you just come over and play it then. How about that?
I would just tell you it broke. I'm sorry. I'll get you a new one when they're on the market again.
I just come over. I was like, "Is that my PS5? No, it's a flower vase. Looks like my PS5.
It's broken.
It's broken. The vase is broken. The PS5 is broken. Yes." And just been like enjoying that. And my buddy, one of my friends, very, very sweetly was just like, "Oh, you finally got it," and just sent me a PS5 game.
Aww.
He sent me Dead Island 2, which
David?
is another, it's David.
Yeah.
Which is another game series that I was a fan of when the first one came out. And it was one of those ones that was just like a long time between releases between that one and the sequel. And then I found it was only going to be for like the next gen shit. So I was just like, that'll be a while before I play that. But now I get to. And so there's that. I started another. I've just gaming ADHD lately. I jump back into my playthrough of Mass Effect again.
As you do.
As you do. Got back to 2 finally, which is great. I'm gonna go romance Garrus.
Like you do.
Well, it's my first time fully playing through as FemShep. So
Oh, nice.
I get to. Yeah, I'm gonna go.
You've never done that?
Never done a FemShep. I've never done a FemShep run.
Wow.
I'm not somebody who normally likes.
How long have you been a misogynist, Jordan?
Well, internally or outwardly? Because internally, there's a lot of stuff I still got to work on. Outwardly, there was a lot of shit I wasn't aware of.
I was just giving you a hard time.
No, I get you. No, it's just I've never been that person who like wanted to jump in and like play as the opposite gender for some reason. I was never against it. I know people do. It was just never my thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
I've been also kind of popcorning between a lot of different video games right now. I recently downloaded a title that's returned to the Switch.
Oh, okay.
It was a GameCube game back in the day. It was Harvest Moon: Story of Seasons, a farming sim.
I know about it. I never played it.
Right? Yeah. And I wouldn't expect you to. But I had it on the GameCube, and I was like 11 and not good at it, you know. So now I'm playing as an adult, and I'm like, this is cozy. This is nice.
I know it's
what
like
I'm doing now.
I know it's a lot of people's like favorite game.
It's
from that generation. A lot of people love it.
Really good. Yeah. So I'm playing the like remastered version of that, which is really nice. There's a lot of quality of life improvements, as you can imagine. So that's been fun. Yeah. We've also been playing Baldur's Gate 3 because of course we have.
Yes. Next download for the PS5 is we're getting Baldur's Gate.
Absolutely. I'm patiently waiting for it to come to Mac so that I can play on my computer instead of doing split screen on my husband's computer, because that is not it. We have to play with like controllers and
Not a big fan.
Not good. No, it's not good at all. So I'm very excited to play it on my Mac eventually.
That's awesome.
Also been playing a roguelite called Have a Nice Death. Are you familiar?
No, I don't know this one.
So you're Death, right? Like the Grim Reaper.
Cool.
And you have a deathly empire, and you're like the CEO of it. And your desk is piled with paperwork, and you're just stamping things all day, and you get burned out. And you realize that your managers that are running the death business, they're fucking up. They're doing way too much. They're not doing their job right. They're fucking off. So you have to go and like kick their ass and stuff through like the different layers of hell, and and like get them back into shape so that you can, you know, go take a vacation. Oh my God. It's so strange, but it's like it's about like burnout and also death. So
I love it.
Yeah.
There was an older point and click adventure called Grim Fandango that has a very similar plotline to it.
Huh.
You are a Grim Reaper in like a business structural world of the Grim Reapers and whatnot. And you end up finding out that there's a bunch of weird corporate shit going on, and you join like a revolution against the corporate world of the Grim Reapers. It's really, really
interesting. Very similar. Yeah. It's a roguelite. It plays a lot like Dead Cells, if you remember that game.
Yes.
So you kind of start off every run with nothing, and then you like pick up a weapon, and then you pick up a spell, and then you kill guys, and then you get points, and you know, very standard roguelite stuff. Yeah. Pretty fun.
Like it. Yeah. Cool. Fun. Okay.
Other than that, just getting back into the swing of life.
Yeah, there's always that. Just getting back into things.
Yeah.
And trying to make it as normal as possible.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude, I did also check out Starfield, just to mention it very quickly.
Oh, tell me more.
I really enjoy, if basic thing for it, if you like Bethesda games, if you like Skyrim or Fallout, you're going to enjoy this.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do like a solid sci-fi base and space travel stuff and things like that, you're gonna have fun with this.
It looked very much just like Outer Worlds to me. I was just like, why do we have this game? We have Outer Worlds already.
It's similar, but it does have a very, very different tone.
Okay.
Whereas like Outer World is very sort of like, Outer Worlds is like, I put it more in like a sort of semi like corporate dystopian setting of like sci-fi worlds. This is the Starfield fits a little bit more in like the vein of like a Mass Effect, where it's like things are bad, there are sketchy things happening, but it's not like, it is just like, this is an imagined world of sci-fi. There's not like a necessarily like hard dystopian element to it.
Okay.
Not as like grungy, I would say.
Give it. I mean, I guess I should, one, give it a chance. And two, I guess if we can have like a billion different high fantasy RPGs, then we can have like a billion in space. I don't know why. There can only be one.
I get you. Only real negative I have for it is that the accessibility options are garbage.
Oh, really?
They're really bad. It's really, really bad. It's I know, it's just like the ability to adjust your subtitles, and that's about it. It's
Dad.
like, right? It's like, come on, guys. Come on. But on that, though, it is a great game. Just fix that, Bethesda.
Fix it.
Well, now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, we've caught you guys up on what we've been doing, now on to our main quest for today, which is just going to be us. It's another filthy casual episode. As you guys know, if we've listened before, new time in and whatnot, this is just sort of like, it's been a bit, so we're sort of like stretching the muscles a little bit again, kind of getting back into it a little bit. So today we're just going to spend some time talking about some of our favorite voiceover artists. All the people in the games or animated shows or anything else that requires voiceover work that we have just like learned to appreciate and love over the years. I don't know about you, but I kind of, because I kind of fell in love with like movies and stuff, I like the production value of things like that. I kind of fell in love with that when I was younger. That slowly trickled into me starting to pay attention to like who voices like this stuff and things and whatnot. And the biggest one was finding out that Mark Hamill, most famously Luke Skywalker from Star Wars, was the voice of the Joker from the original Batman the Animated Series, and has done it many, many times from there.
Yes.
That was kind of my first like falling to be like, I'm sorry, who? Who was doing that? And then just like
Whiny Luke Skywalker.
Whiny Luke Skywalker is like one of the greatest villains of all fucking time. And so I just like following, and that sort of like started down the rabbit hole of being like, well, who else is in the show? Who else voices this? Who else does this? And that like led me to, you know, Travis Willingham, Tara Strong, all the really big names and whatnot. So yeah, this was one that I came up with. So I just want to spend some time talking about just like my love for these people and just sort of like sing some praises, which is especially good right now because voice actors are a part of are kind of separate from SAG, but like are still a part of like what's going on and whatnot, and also criminally underpaid, criminally underappreciated by the industry.
What affects one of us affects all of us.
Yes, and also deserve some love. So what about you? Where does your like appreciation for voice acting in general come from?
Definitely like in that vein, like you were saying, like the big voiceover artists who I'm going to talk about later. Just realizing that they like gave voices to our entire childhood.
Truly though.
Like every animated show that we loved as kids growing up is like voiced by or has these people in their list of credits somewhere.
Yes.
You know, like they've touched everything. And it's cool to see that crossover into video games too. Because like obviously, like why wouldn't they?
Oh yeah.
So it's really cool to just see a name crop up and go, oh, you know?
But what I love about it too is that if you go through any voice actors IMDb, like across their career, even to where it's like their name is like kind of blown up in that section of the industry, you'll still see just like on occasion, just like
additional voices.
Additional voices. Soldier number 5, just like, oh, we just needed someone solid to come in and fill in real quick. I got you, man.
That was my criteria when I was looking people up. I was like, if they have additional voices,
that's
or like. Sometimes it'll be like grouped with additional voices or grouped with the talents or like whatever.
Yes.
Or like uncredited too. I was like, these are the ones. These are the ones out there doing the work.
Because I've definitely, especially now, since like I'm a big Critical Role fan too, so especially, and those are all well known voice actors. I was just like, especially now, I'll sit there be watching something or playing something, and I'll just go, "That's Liam O'Brien. That's Taliesin Jeffries."
Yeah.
Like be able to pick it out really quickly and just like, wow, randomly in this like thing I'm playing or watching, it's cool.
So if you've never looked up like these voice actors, recommend that you do, because you're going to be surprised by how often they crop up in lots of things that you've probably interacted with or consumed.
Yes.
You want to start us off?
Absolutely. So top of my list, I must have talked about him before on the show, especially in our BioShock Infinite episode. One of my absolute favorites is an actor named Troy Baker. If you don't know the name, most famously Booker DeWitt from BioShock Infinite, Joel from the Last of Us game series. He's also been Batman in the Lego Batman games, I believe. He's been Batman in the Telltale game series. He was also the Joker in the Arkham Origins game, which was a prequel to the Arkham game. So he plays a younger version of the Joker. And does a great, like, just a brilliant younger version, like slightly younger version of Mark Hamill's Joker, which is really fun to watch too. And another one of those people that just like, he's another one, he's been on podcasts before, and I've watched interviews with the guy before. Just somebody, and not that anybody on either of our lists like don't care, but just like somebody who just has like such a love in particular for video games and the industry itself. Like somebody who is like, I know he didn't get into it to become an actor in video games, but somebody who like once he found that like, oh, this is kind of my niche and where I fall in, just like instantly became like a fan of the space and talks about it with just like such appreciation and love. And he's just like, I always just like love people like that who are just like, I'm in this, I'm gonna give every single fuck I can about it.
I've looked him up because I just wanted to put eyes on the name and match things up. He's also done a lot of anime.
Yeah, he also has done a lot of
anime.
That's
really cool.
He
was in Full Metal Alchemist. Some of his most recent notable video game credits are like God of War. Let's see, what else has he got? The Spider-Man Miles Morales game. That's great.
Oh yeah. He's like the main baddie on that one. He does a lot of bad guys. He's got a great voice for and a great demeanor altogether for playing a lot of bad guys and stuff like that too.
What else would we know him from?
The fourth Uncharted game would be a really, really big one for it.
Oh yeah.
I most people who would know him would definitely know him from the Last of Us series, because like Joel was definitely like a big one for just because of like just the eyes on that series and whatnot that it got, and just like the praise that it got just for the acting in the game as well. Because that was one of the first. I don't think it was the first one from Sony, but it was definitely one of the earlier ones of like both motion capture and voice work being done simultaneously. During certain moments, obviously, but just it was one of the ones where it was just like. If you ever look up behind the scenes footage for a lot of Sony, for a lot of games that go through the PlayStation, so that one, the God of War series, you'll see what they do is that they put them in the full mocap suit, but then now they have these just like they look like the swim caps with just like a microphone that kind of sticks down right here and just captures everything that they do.
Which is great. That's kind of how you want it, right?
That's real. I think that's how you want, like as immersive as you can get in that.
Yeah. That's going to lead to really great performances. So,
yeah. Oh, and also something game series we love. He's Kai Lang in Mass Effect 3. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. So full spectrum of Troy Baker of love him and hate him in terms of like character goes.
Get a man who's got the range.
Yeah.
He passes the test. He's got a lot of like additional voices credits. So
yeah. That's the thing. He's also he has not gotten like
he is working.
Yeah. Oh, all the fucking time. Yeah. All the time. Yes.
Who else you got?
Well, next up is just another favorite and one that a lot of people know. The wonderful Laura fucking Bailey, who is just a delight as a human being, but also just like one of those obnoxiously talented fucking people. Because it's like she's very, very cool. She does a lot of great voiceover work. She has a killer voice, which is another game that I need to play still is the Stray Gods game that just came out, which is a musical RPG.
I saw that in Troy Baker's credits, and I was
Yes,
like,
he's in that too.
Like,
he also has a killer voice too, and it's like, pick one. You gotta pick one thing.
I was like, I can't bring that up right now because I will spin out about that. Yes. I need to know more about that.
He has a gorgeous voice too. So does Laura Bailey. It's just like, I feel like that can sometimes go hand in hand, though, especially with voiceover work.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, there's some other people on the list that I've heard sing that also have, like, killer fucking voices.
Well, when your voice is your instrument, you know?
Truly, though.
You know?
I initially kind of fell in love with Laura Bailey, though, from... It was an odd one when when I heard that they were not redoing, but when they were adding more sequels to the Gears of War series. After 3 came out, I was just like, I don't know if we need any more for this. But then picked it up, and she plays the main, not for 4, but for 5, it's becoming like the main protagonist for the game series for that one. And I was just like, this is just a stunning, brilliant, just grounded and fucking great performance that it was just like, looked her up and I was just like, okay, anything that you're involved in, I just kind of want to see what else you can do. Mm-hmm. And just like, she's just, so like, this is just gonna me go just mentioning names and going like, man, they're just fucking good. Like, they're just really, really fucking good.
He has a lot of video game credits, like more than some of the other voice actors that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Because I see her in like Halo 4, Mass Effect 3, Fire Emblem Awakening, BioShock Infinite, The Last of Us, Lost Planet 3, like so many credits. Yeah. Like, way more than I thought.
Well, she's definitely another one of those ones that is just like, yeah, I'll jump in for
yeah
the random ones like that.
Yeah. The fill in, the like, do this. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah, so check her out, look up her stuff. I still need to download and play Stray Gods. That shit just looks like so much fun.
Maybe we'll cover it on an episode of the podcast.
It would be a perfect one for us to cover, honestly. It really would. It's right up our alley. It's really, really good.
Let's do it. It looked like a Telltale game.
It's very similar to a Telltale game. It's got that same kind of mechanic to it.
I love that.
Yeah, I know, right?
Who's next?
Keeping it moving. So I'm just gonna go down my whole list then.
Go for it.
Okay, go. I mean, it's. I feel like it's an obvious one.
It would be hard to,
but it would be hard pressed not to mention them.
It'd be hard to not talk about him
in this one, because how do you talk about voiceover work without mentioning Matthew fucking Mercer? Just most recently, and it was a big deal that he was doing it, was that he was voicing Ganondorf for the most recent Zelda title.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and I heard no complaints of that casting for it.
No.
And from what I heard and saw from it, it is perfect. It's like it is.
What a man.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Small thing. So one of our friends and my roommate Jess recently started watching Critical Role, and after she got a couple of episodes into the first campaign, I just got a text message that just said, Matthew Mercer can fucking get it. And I was just like, yeah, man. It's like, it's not that and I think part of it is that like, he's a handsome guy. Don't get me wrong. But it's like, I think it is that like that talent and ability crush as well. Where it's like, especially for something that you're watching him do just such an array of voices and characters. Because some voiceover actors still are a bit niche in terms of like, well, they have a certain voice that works for a certain style of characters, and that's how they kind of get their gigs. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm assuming you're looking him up.
I certainly am.
Yeah, it's a pretty wide variety of like shit that he has done.
Range. But I think voice actors across the board have more range than we think.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You said most recently his credit in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, but his most recent credit.
There would have been something. Oh, he is in Baldur's Gate.
He's in Baldur's Gate 3. He's Minsk.
That would make sense.
That's so great.
I don't know who Minsk is. I haven't played Baldur's Gate
He's the little guy with the little hamster.
I don't know. I want to play it. I'm not looking at things for it. I'm avoiding it. Because I'm going to play it.
But they're pulling from like the litany of like Baldur's Gate lore over the years. Like this isn't. It's not a new character. That's all I'm saying.
I understand. I know nothing of Baldur's Gate.
Well, educate yourself.
I will once I play Baldur's Gate. Christ!
He's also got a Kingdom Hearts 3 credit, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate credit.
Who was he in Super Smash? That's what I want.
Super Smash. Oh no! Hold on.
You're full.
I'm sorry. Super Smash Brothers. He's Chrom and Yusuke Kitagawa. That's a character in Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
Thank you.
Crom.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you for helping me out with that.
You seemed a little lost.
That really helped solidify what I was going to be asking about.
Crom is like a sword wielder in Super Smash Brothers.
Got you. Okay, cool.
Who I don't play. Injustice 2, he's Deadshot.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah.
Titanfall 2, he's Jack Cooper.
Who is Titanfall 2? That's one of the random ones to me because it's so weird sometimes with voice actors because it's like you expect to hear them like doing a very specific like different character voice.
Mm-hmm.
And that one, it is just like his voice that you don't clock it immediately. Like I was already a fan of him when I played Titanfall 2. Went through the whole thing and then got to the credits and I was like, oh fuck, that was Matthew Mercer. Shit.
Well, every once in a while you got to throw your own voice in there so that you get, just so that you're doing a neutral,
For sure, but I mean, like my introduction to Troy Baker was BioShock Infinite, which is the most like how he normally sounds of like most of the things he's done. So that was like my baseline going into the rest of his work. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Matthew Mercer is also the human male guardian for Destiny.
Human male guardian. Oh,
the player, the player character. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's how. Well, that's you also see a lot of that too of just kind of like male voice 1, male voice 2, male voice 3, all across the fucking board. On that
Right.
So yeah, I mean it's a pretty clear one, but you have to mention the great
the king, the goat.
But then going for that, somebody who is a little bit newer to the scene, and I looked up their credits. They didn't have a lot. A gentleman named John McLaren, most notably from what I saw from the Guardians of the Galaxy video game, not the Telltale one, the actual like third-person shooter that came out, is just it's not that guy. It's not whoever that old man is. It's not whoever this guy is.
Let it happen. John McLaren, the horticulturist.
Yeah, clearly, that's what I'm talking about. It's the hard pivot because it's been a long con to get into a horticulture podcast.
Oh no!
And nobody knew what I was doing.
This really is our last episode. Anyways, continue.
Yeah. No, but just another person when I played the Guardians game. First of all, super underrated, underappreciated. Like it has some hiccups, but it was just a really delightful, fun game, and the story for it is so good. It's like Mass Effect for me. It's worth the hiccups. But he plays Star-Lord or Peter Quill in the game, and it's just it was such a grounded, great fucking performance that like it was the one where I was just like I found myself going to IMDb just being like, who is this guy? What else has he done? And like, he's definitely got more stuff now, but compared to a lot of other people on my list, it's a short list. It's not
way more recent.
He's very, very fresh. But I'm hoping, I'm really, really hoping for like some really good things. Because again, did you play the Guardians game?
I watched Garrett play some of it, and I remember all of the voice acting to be really, really great.
It was a solid game, and all the acting that was really, really good. But I was just like, it's.
You can tell he's new because his Wikipedia page doesn't even have his picture on it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, that's true.
I'm sure his IMDb is better, but
yeah. He's really good though. So I'm just like, if hopefully anybody looking out for any more voiceover actors, put him in more stuff because he's fucking solid and a good looking dude.
Yeah, I was gonna say
he's a handsome man.
He could get it too.
God damn. That is a handsome gentleman.
All right, that's enough of that. All right,
moving on.
Who else you got?
Oh, then from there we have the absolute legend that is Jennifer Hale. Most notably for you would know her as the voice of Femshep from the Mass Effect series.
Okay, great.
And just another one that just like is her voice is pretty iconic in a sense, and that is like it is one that like. People will hire her just for her. Just she will definitely do some stuff where you go like, oh shit, that was Jennifer Hale. But like she just has such a great voice herself that she gets put in things and they're just like, no, just you. That works fine. She was a narrator that didn't turn into. It was a cool turn in the Ruby animated series. She started off as like the narrator for the series, and then got revealed that this narrator was actually the baddie for the whole thing. It was actually a really well done twist because you're just like,
spoiler.
It was just kidding. This happened like 8 years ago. Like I'm not.
She has got a lot of fucking.
She's been in the game for a damn minute. She's been around for a cool fucking second.
I mean, Mass Effect, Kingdom Hearts, Diablo 3, Halo 4, like lots of credits. She's been all over the place.
And then those ones where it's just like once you kind of recognize her voice, you go like, oh, there she is. I know. Definitely some variation here and there, but yeah.
She's Rosalind in BioShock Infinite.
Yes, I did actually know that.
This is why I love looking up voice actors and
It's
just
so
discovering.
cool to be like, that was you?
Yeah.
That was you? But yeah, if you pay attention, especially in the video game world, if you pay attention at all, you know who Jennifer Hale is. Another one that's just like wonderfully iconic for me, at least, just because I've been such a fan of the series, is Jen Taylor, who is Cortana from, most notably Cortana from the Halo series, which is the AI that the Master Chief runs around in. She's so good that even because they put her in the Halo TV series that no longer exists. Like, I'm sure you can still watch the first season, but like, why would you? It wasn't very good. But she's just so good that even when they put her into the TV series, and I was just like, okay, this is like the one good thing that this show has fucking done, was keep her. They were maybe trying their best. I don't know. Like, it strayed really hard from the source material. But anyway, and again, and for me, it really is that attachment to Cortana, and just having her essentially have been there for so long throughout the Halo series for me, that it's just like, when I do hear her voice, particularly in that sense, I'm just like, it feels comforting and like it's home. Like, it feels very, very safe and nice to me.
She also has credits for Princess Peach and Toad in some Mario games.
That's awesome.
Right?
That's really cool.
Toad in Luigi's Mansion, Princess Peach in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Yeah. Throwing it back.
Oh, and she's Zoe in Left 4 Dead, another one of my favorite games.
There you go.
That I gotta get you to play at some point.
Yeah.
I gotta pull it up so you can play. You would have a lot. I know FPSs aren't your thing, but you would have fun. Left 4 Dead, just because it's shooting zombies, and when is that not fun?
Very true. Very true. Anyone else?
Yeah. This is my last one, and this is one that I have a particular thing about, because this is somebody who a particular performance of them has gotten some shit talked about, and I am here to defend someone's name. Mark Meer, most famously Male Shepherd.
Okay.
From the Mass Effect game, which, I get it. It's not, as Male Shepherd, it's not the best voiceover performance. However, though, first of all, you get put up against Jennifer Hale, okay? And it was his first lead voiceover role he had ever done was for Mass Effect. All right? That'd be like if you put me in a movie and you're like, by the way, you're going opposite
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yeah, like someone like that. My brain was like putting 9 names together.
I don't know why Robert De Niro was my first.
And I was like, Anthony Stewart. I was like, who is that? It's not...
What?
No idea who that is. But yeah, it would be something like that. It's like, of course I'm not going to look as good. They're far more seasoned and well-known in the business and whatnot. But also looked it up recently. And I would like to very quickly go over the other voices that he did across just the Mass Effect series here.
Let's see.
So we've got Male Shepherd. I'm going to mess up some of these names. Delander, Opold, Preacher Hanar, Businessman, Solarian Soldier, Thug, Captain Cardana, Niftu Cal, Praza, Shelob, Shisk, Blasto. If you know Mass Effect, you know fucking Blasto. That's iconic. Bloodpack Boom Squad, Bloodpack Trooper, Blue Suns Dispatcher, Eclipse Trooper, Elcor Bouncer, Elcor Customer, Job Anomaly, Krogan Thug, Quarian Log, Refinery Worker, Sanctum Anomaly, Sick Krogan, Titus Anomaly, Tereth Anomaly.
So he did a lot.
He did a lot for just Mass Effect alone.
Yeah.
And again, I will agree Jennifer Hale does a better job through her Femship run, having now played through a lot of the legendary selection for it. However, put some respect on the fucking man's name, please.
Is there anything else that he's done that you'd like to point out and be like, look, he was so good in this. Like, don't you remember this?
Man, nothing I can think of right now, unfortunately. That would have been, hey, Brendan, that would have been a good thing for me to look up.
Not helping your case. He is credited on Gotham Knights. He's Starro in Gotham Knights. He's also got Baldur's Gate Siege of Dragons credit. Dragon Age Inquisition as additional voices. So
which yeah.
the test.
Absolutely.
He did all 3 of the Mass Effect games. Dragon Age Origins, Dragon Age 2, yeah.
So he's in Baldur's Gate stuff.
He's in Baldur's Gate too.
Shadows Baldur's Gate
and Throne of Ball. Yeah. So yeah, he's been around the block.
Just because that's it. Yeah, that's it. He had been a commodity for a while in voice acting, but like Mass Effect, if I'm remembering right, was his first like lead role in something like that. And I'll just say, by 3, he's fucking great. You know, a couple missteps in 1 and 2, but by 3, he's fucking got it. So that's my list of people that I have so many more that I could talk about.
I mean, fill a book. But
that was just like my base selection for just like, I love these people so fucking much.
Yeah, absolutely. The few people that I want to talk about, you've already mentioned a couple of them at the top of this. But I just wanted to throw it to some voice actors that kind of like voiced our childhood, voiced a lot of like cartoon characters that we're familiar with. From back in the day. So the first one is Grey Delisle Griffin.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Anybody who knows anything about Grey Delisle is like, oh my gosh. This notably, Grey Delisle is the voice of Azula from the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. And voiced a lot of the Azula appearances in video games.
Yes.
For Avatar: The Last Airbender. I think there was only a couple, but like she did Azula for them too.
Yeah.
Some other notable things that she's done.
Just to give a quick number here, because this is why I do like IMDb for stuff like this.
Yeah.
685 credits.
Yeah.
Different credits of voiceover work. That's what we're talking about when we talk about some of these voice actors. Like, it's that fucking extensive.
One that's really important to me is that she voiced Lore from The Weekenders, which is a old cartoon show that you know it. Also, for probably a lot more people out there, though, she voices like half of the female characters on The Fairly Odd Parents. She's Vicky, she's Tootie, Veronica, like tons of people.
Yep.
So she voiced so many of these iconic cartoon characters from our childhoods and did some, has done a lot of voice for video game too. So I just wanted to throw it out there. She's in all 3 of the Bayonetta games. She is Catwoman in the Injustice games.
Yes.
She's in Mortal Kombat X. She's Nova from the StarCraft 2 series.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Which also puts her in Heroes of the Storm, which is another Blizzard title.
Got you.
She's Catwoman in the Arkham game, so like Arkham Origins. She's Catwoman.
She's been like the voiceover. She's been the voice for Catwoman for a while now. But
Catwoman's also one of those roles that like popcorns around to like
totally
all of the other.
It's true.
Let's see. Bayonetta, like I said, she has Dragon Age credits. She's Azula in the Avatar game. She's got credit for the Challenge Showdown video game, if you remember that. I
remember that cartoon. There was a game for it.
Yeah, apparently.
Well, all right.
Yeah. She's also got a Baldur's Gate 2 credit.
I feel like Baldur's Gate was the one that like everyone had to cycle through at some point.
Yeah, everybody's touched Baldur's Gate at some point.
Wow.
So anyways, that's Grey Delisle Griffin. She's an iconic voice actress. I mean, I can't not just think of Azula and how incredible that performance is.
Just such a
throughout that show
performance. Yeah.
Somebody that you already mentioned is Mark Hamill.
I mean, yeah.
He's got a crazy amount of voice credits for a lot of cartoons. Notably Joker. He also does a Joker in pretty much all of the Arkham games.
Pretty much
all of them.
Again, all of them except for Origins, but that was only because Arkham Knight, which is the 3rd chronologically in the series, was such an expansive thing. They wanted to get something else out between Arkham City and Arkham Knight, so Origins was like a prequel thing to like bridge the gap time-wise for people. Yeah.
Something that was surprising to me is that he has a Kingdom Hearts credit. He's Master Arrakis in the Kingdom Hearts game. So like Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
That was one of the ones when I played 3, because that character pops up again in 3. I immediately was like, that's Mark Hamill.
Additionally, he has Avatar credits because he voiced Firelord Ozai.
He did.
In the series and in the video game.
It's one of my favorite things for someone to be such a notable, like, good guy, like a very like pop culturally famous like good guy.
Luke Skywalker.
But then on the other side of their career, they're famous for these villains.
Yeah,
like one of my favorite things.
Like Joker and Firelord Ozai. Like that's got to be so fun.
2 of the most like truly sinister villains that have ever existed.
Next on my list, you mentioned her as well, Tara Strong, who voices all of the cutesy, girly voices from our childhood. She's all of them. She is like undoubtedly all of them.
Not just the cutesy, girly ones, because I do know for a fact that you brought up the show too. She is also Timmy Turner from Fairly Odd
absolutely.
Parents.
He's kind of got a cutesy girly voice. Like,
Oh, for sure. You're not
real.
incorrect.
Yeah. So yeah, famously Tara Strong is like the voice of Bubbles in the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes.
Timmy Turner. She's got Codename Kids Next Door credits. Family Guy, The Weekenders, Pepper Ann. Like she was all over the place. Rugrats. She's Dill Pickles.
She's Dill Pickles. That's
Dill
right.
Pickles.
I remember that.
Dexter's Lab. Like she's been all over the place. Video game. She's the voice of the baby, the big baby in Spirited Away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also notably for me, Raven from Teen Titans.
Oh, of course. How can I forget? Absolutely.
Had to mention that one.
Right. And that leads me into Injustice because she's also Raven in Injustice.
Yes. As well as Harley Quinn in Injustice as well.
I think you're right. I'll double check that on her list right now, but I believe you are correct. Actually, yeah, I think I have it in the notes. Where'd it go? Come back. Yeah, she's Harley Quinn in Injustice as well. She's got some Final Fantasy credits. She's got lost it. Ratchet and Clank. She's got Jak and Daxter, Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
she's been all over the place. Arkham City. She's Harley Quinn as well.
Okay, yeah.
Let's see, Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Suicide Squad, which is coming out next year.
Yeah, that's right.
She's Harley Quinn in that as well. And she's got the perfect voice for it.
She really, really does.
Yeah.
What's crazy for her too though is like she's done Comic-Cons where she goes cosplayed as Harley Quinn, and it's like you could totally play Harley Quinn as live action.
Oh, she totally
fucking nuts.
Absolutely. She also is the voice of, I just lost it. Where was it? Oh, I just lost it. I'm sorry.
Well, now we'll never know.
Oh, Riku from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
so
got
there
it.
you go. So that's Tara Strong. She's voiced everything.
You've
heard the time.
Even if you aren't aware, like I was going to mention that, like she's what the hell? I just had it. Sorry. If you've watched the Loki series, she's Miss Minutes in that as well.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so just like she's all over the damn place.
Yeah. And then the last one that I have is Cree Summer. Are you aware of Cree Summer?
That doesn't sound familiar. How do you spell that for me, real quick?
That's Cree and then Summer, like the season. She is also one of these folks that has voiced everyone. Yeah. So notably she is the voice of Susie Carmichael in the Rugrats series.
Yes, I do know her. She's wonderful.
She's got a very iconic voice that once you hear it, you're like, oh, that's Cree Summer. It's like undoubtedly her. She's got a ton.
Because as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I know her from like a dozen other things that I fucking
She's also in The Legend of Vox Machina. As Raishan. She's done kind of all of the Rugrats IP. Yes. All of the time. All of the video games, all of the shows. She is Susie Carmichael. She also has credits on Lilo and Stitch, Chalk Zone, if you remember that show.
Vaguely. I never got too into Chalk Zone, but I know about Chalk Zone.
She has a ton of additional voices credits because she shows up in fucking everything when they need a professional. As far as video games go, she's done kind of all of the Rugrats stuff, like I mentioned. Oh, she's also the voice of Number 5 from Codename Kids Next Door.
Yes!
If you remember that.
Iconic.
Yes. She does a voice for a character in Diablo 3, one of the angels, Ariel, which also puts her in Heroes of the Storm.
Nice. Okay.
The Blizzard title. And she is also notably the voice of the female EXO player in Destiny 2.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, these are the people that are voicing all of the characters around us all of the time.
Constantly,
like,
all
there's
the time,
no way that you haven't heard these people's voices. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you've definitely heard all these people at least once in your life and just like maybe just didn't even think about it. Or
Mass Effect. Mass Effect also.
Damn, everybody has to go through Mass Effect.
Everybody went through Mass
Everybody went through. Well, I wonder if it's a thing where it's just like, especially with voiceover work, that it is kind of like, because so many of them, like Critical Role came together because they were all voice actors who were friends who hung out and played D&D together. So I wonder how much of it is where it's just like you're in the room sometimes and you hear just kind of like, yeah, we need somebody to do like this voice needs to be like this, and you're just kind of like, I know a guy.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh, Cree's free today. Cree,
Yeah. Cree can come in and do some work. I got
Absolutely.
you. No worries.
I wonder, yeah, that's crazy. How do you get into that? That's what I want to know, because I've thought about doing voiceover work.
I would love you'd have a great voice for it.
Thanks.
No, it's one I've always wanted to do too. I actually did an audition a while back for something that was going to be voiceover work. I didn't get it, obviously, but it was just like, it was for like an audio podcast. I just like tried out for it, but it's just like, it's cool because you just like, at least from what I was doing for the audition, I was just sitting in my closet with my microphone set up, this is to get the best sound I could, and just like take after take after take, just like trying to find different voices and like see what works and whatnot.
Yeah.
And even like DMing for D&D to me is like kind of like getting to stretch that muscle a little bit, have fun with it too. Yeah. But it's just like, it is just, I wonder how much of it is just like the same process of like on screen acting, of just like sitting there and processing and figuring it all out, or how much it is just you sitting there just going like, and then I went, that's not it. And then I went, no, it's not it. And just like
all the trial and error.
Sort of just like process of elimination at a certain point that you gotta go through.
That's funny. Well, if you like our voices and you do casting for voice actors, call us.
Would 100% do it. Would 100% do that, please.
We are professional.
And I'll do anything. Anything. Well, since we mentioned that we would like to do voiceover work, I guess it's time for us to put our money where our mouths are.
Right.
As our friend off camera here has some ideas for us to try out.
So what are we doing?
Yeah, I've written general NPCs. I guess they're not NPCs, they have names.
They're people too.
Yeah.
NPCs are people too.
Some stereotypical characters that you find in video games. And you guys are gonna give us some voices for it. So here's your audition. Only voice white guy.
For me, it's always like it's always like borderline trying to be like the grumbly like noir guy. Like it's almost Rorschach, but not quite for me. And it's very kind of sort of
Spider Noir.
Yeah, very very much so. Just like, this is a dark town where people do dark things. No, I'm not Batman. Why would you think that? This is totally different. Yes, my parents also died tragically when I was a child.
Yeah,
but it's unrelated. And yes, I'm also kind of a vigilante, but I'm not Batman.
That's noir is all I can think of. That's all I can think of.
Right.
She walked into my establishment. All legs. You know, like that.
That was really solid, Paul. I like that a lot. That's good. I'd play that game.
Like Eddie Valiant. That's what I think of.
All legs.
My brother was killed by a tone.
Alright, let's go evil scientist.
Ooh. Do you go high pitch or do you go low pitch?
That's the thing. It's just like it's just that choice. For me, it's definitely the yes. I crafted a very specific gas that infects the nervous system and causes your blood to boil, so you know what it's like to be a frog stuck in a boiling pot of water, slowly turned to the highest temperature. Because you gotta get the laugh in there.
Cast him now. Damn.
Alright, superhero.
I think it's the way that you speak that is most important, because the pitch is important, but it's the way you say things and the inspiration that you give when you speak out to the masses. That's what a hero is.
It's very Captain America.
It's very Captain America.
I like that a lot. I'm good. I can go. That's solid, man. That was great.
Military soldier.
Oh, guys! Fuck! Everything's on fire! Oh god! Ah!
The guy who really didn't want to be there, but is. Yeah, like
He handed me a gun, and now I'm out here, and I'm shooting people, and I don't want to be shooting people, and there's grenades flying, and there's dirt in my face, and man, I just want to be back home in Kansas with the cows, and
he's the one that like starts. He's a little bit of the comic relief because of that attitude.
Yeah.
But then you fall in love halfway through, and you know he's gonna die.
Oh yeah,
because they're not gonna make you love him and then not kill him.
Let's go. Mayor of town.
Greetings, traveler. I was hoping to talk to you for a moment. I see you're quite handy with that sword. But we've got a bit of a problem with some goblins outside of our town. I was wondering if perhaps you'd be able to half skip into the woods and take care of that for us, please.
I love. I love that he had a side quest too.
Oh, he has to.
King/royalty.
Yes. Welcome to my kingdom. I am the result of many years of royalty and inbreeding. I am king of this land. Welcome.
I don't know. I don't know what I did, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I was just like, why is he so sleepy? And then you answered the question. And that's a great performance. When you inspire questions from your audience, but then
you answer
them. It's perfect. This is stupidly fun.
Yeah,
this
this is great. We should have just done this for the whole episode.
The whole thing, whole time.
Get a little more specific with our prompts.
All right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shop owner with a side quest.
Oh, I'll throw this to you, Mr. Mayor, with the side quest.
Mayor with a side quest. Ah, yes, and there are your 6 potions of healing.
Oh, thank you.
That'll be 15 gold.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go. And I hear that you're heading off to the woods soon. If it wouldn't be too much of a bother, I could offer you some more health potions if you could do something for me. You see, my daughter went wandering into the woods a while ago and got lost, and I'm not really concerned about her, but she had a really nice bucket with her. And if I could get that back, that'd be much appreciated. If you find my daughter too, that's lovely. But really, it's just the bucket I want. Actually,
just the bucket.
Just the bucket's the most important thing. You'll see, it's a good bucket.
Is it a magic bucket?
No, it's just a really good bucket.
Oh, okay. What's the kid's name?
Who knows? You name them?
Needlessly tedious tutorial.
Oh. Hello, adventurer, and welcome to the land of Faerun. Are you holding your controller? All right, great. Now to move, you press the joystick. Press it forward to move your character.
I know how to move forward. This is so fucking stupid and unnecessary.
Let's try moving left and right. Move your joystick left and right to move the character.
Who needs this anymore? This is just like so intuitive at this point, and like it just makes sense.
Let's try walking backwards. Hold the joystick backwards to walk backwards.
If I could get forward and left and right, it would make... Okay, fucking fine. I don't give a shit.
To jump, press the A button. Let's try it now. Press the A button.
Fully loses it.
I love that just started with hold your controller.
Be sure you have it in your hand. You're holding it?
Get a firm grip on the controller.
A magical owl that lives in the woods.
Oh, we're both gonna have different things for this one because I definitely have something that I think is gonna be very good.
You're gonna start with
No. Shit.
Well, the like wizened old owl that lives in the woods is tired. I want the like corny magical owl that's like a little loopy. That's what I want.
Let's get it then.
Yeah. All right. Oh, welcome to my tree. I am the magical owl that lives in the woods. Perhaps you've heard of me.
Who would dare come into my section of these woods? Humans have not trespassed into my lair for a millennia, not without bringing me a bushel of berries in a very specific buckets.
Not the bucket. Not the bucket.
It's all gonna come back to the bucket.
We're actually like lining out the game that we're gonna build.
Guys, we're gonna just break open let's just break it open here. We're just outlining a video game for you right now that we're gonna make.
Head of the traveling bucket.
If you were a Pokemon, good voice Pokemon.
I already know mine.
But like, we only say our own name.
Yeah, that was my thought for it.
Brent.
I mean, I feel like mine's kind of up. Jordan. Jordan.
Jordan.
Such a round sound.
You gotta get the whole. Yeah.
I love it.
I've been doing that on my way home just to myself.
Jordan.
I'm gonna be doing it too.
Old witch who's the BBEG in disguise.
Oh, hello, adventurer. Welcome to my witch's cottage. Please come right in. Now, why don't you sit down and eat this very much not poisoned apple?
This bitch is gonna kill us.
No, I'm not going to kill you. Not at all. Just eat this apple, dearie. It's delicious. I picked it myself. Yes! Now I've got you. You're under my spell.
God damn it. You have come to my cottage now, seeking wisdom and advice. Please do come on in. Ignore all the corpses around the house. They're just in a fertilizer.
Gay lich.
Oh, you spend some time on the ground, and all of a sudden, this is what you come back to. Oh, things look very different from the last time I was above dirt. I don't like it.
Weird Pokemon battle intros.
It's like,
Okay, wait. We gotta lock eyes. So if you've got one, be ready.
Yeah.
and I'll lock eyes with you. All right.
have you ever thought about how starfish poop?
Go, start you.
Just like sometimes they're obvious, but then you also get those dudes who just like walk up and just say a thing to you, and then you're fighting.
Right.
All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh. Is there some that do just that too?
It's true. I'm being attacked by a king.
Yep. Yes, there are. All I've got are fucking metapods, so like you're probably gonna destroy me.
I'm going. Ready?
Yeah.
Help! I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going.
Oh, I'm going.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty.
Perfect spot to end it on. Thank you guys so much for listening, and also listening to us go through some of our ideas for ridiculous voices that we could do in games. But also, did we leave any voice actors off that you guys love? Did we miss any roles for some of these iconic people off on our list too? Please let us know.
And as always, you can always reach out to us at 3VOpodcastteam@gmail.com if you want to send us your ideas for future episodes that we can do, or if you want to ask us any questions, anything at all, hit us up there. And you can find the podcast on all streaming services, anywhere fine podcasts are found. If you want to listen to the audio recording, we also have our YouTube channel, 3VO Podcast, where you can watch the full video version of this podcast. You can find us on all the social medias at 3VO Podcast, and we'll see you next time. Bye.